Paltrocast. Jillian, I'm going to say good afternoon, or are you West Coast?
West Coast.
Okay, so good morning. How is your day going aside from, dealing with media people?
Oh goodness, you're the first one, so it's easy. It's 11 o'clock, so I was being a bit lazy this morning and I'm kind of just getting up.
I don't think that your lazy is
Oh,
comparable to
also
most
fine.
people's lazy because you're somebody who has, at any given time, four projects and probably two or three different roles in each project. So, for example, with your new short film, you also worked on music related to that. So you
Mhm.
were behind the scenes on camera and doing music as well. Was it your plan all along to have this multifaceted career like you have now?
No, I definitely thought I would just be doing, well, I guess so actually, because I always thought I would just do music and acting. And then somewhere along the line, I fell in love with writing and producing and filmmaking in general.
Got it. So The Noise is the latest and greatest project from you. When did you actually finish it?
I finished it in September, I think. So it's been a while. It took a
Mhm.
while for it to come out.
Yeah, usually when it's an indie project, it's either going to take 3 years or it's a surprise thing that you have out the next day. So
Yeah.
for it to be finished in September, how long was it in the works for before that?
Oh, geez. It was relatively quick. Like I wrote it and then I didn't touch it for like 8 months. So I don't
Oh,
even count that time because it's like I wrote it in a day and then ignored it for the longest time. And then once I picked it back up, we were shot and edited within 4 months. So like
got
the
it.
whole thing was like done within 4 months. And then we've just been waiting around for festivals and all that, which is why it hasn't come out.
I hate to use the word brave because the show South Park took brave in another direction. So like that's so brave, people go, "Oh yeah, that's patronizing now." But it's brave of you to be in this part of your career where you're talking about what you're actually going through. Back in the day, you couldn't really do that without public backlash. Nowadays, you're expected to take a stand for what you believe in. When did you kind of realize that, okay, I'm not just going to be Disney person, I'm going to be myself?
Yeah, it was a quick thought process where I was like, oh, I don't really want to talk about these things. But then at the same time, I have really good ideas of how to turn them into art. But then to do that, I kind of should talk about it because you can't really put that out and then not talk about it. Like everyone's going to ask, what was the inspiration? So like you kind of have to be prepared to talk about it. And I realized like so many people are so uncomfortable talking about mental health. So like maybe if just some people that are comfortable with it start being more open about it, will create an environment where more people are willing to talk about it. And I wasn't like excited to talk about it. I was actually like quite anxious about it, but I'm glad I did because it has like already helped a bunch of people, which is super cool.
Right. When you first come onto the scene as an actress in stuff that's more jovial, funny, sitcom-y, laugh tracky, most people are not thinking that there's going to be depth behind the people.
No.
So now we see you in this phase of your career where you can still do funny stuff, but you also have to do meaningful stuff. So is that a challenge for you to go, which one of me is going to come out? Or you don't even think about that?
I don't even think about it, honestly. It's like, I feel like a lot of comedies are dramas and a lot of dramas are comedies. So it's like a weird turnaround way of being like, we're all just human beings doing lots of different things. So whatever I'm putting out that day is what I'm putting out that day.
Well, I have a stupid question, and then I want to ask you about your music. Are you ready for
Yeah.
the stupid question?
Yep.
When you were making Godmother, how did it work with there being two Jillians in lead roles in terms of naming?
The way I have had this happen on multiple sets too. So yeah, I've worked on Godmothered with Jillian Bell, and then I've done a couple projects with a brilliant woman named Jillian Clare, who is a director on set. So it's like always confusing. So like on Godmothered, eventually I just became like Jill. Like that's generally how it works is I get turned into Jill or Spader because I've always been like the like for lack of a better word, the like quote, quote less important Jillian on the set. So it's like
Oh,
I get no, but like in Godmothered, it's like that was the lead. I was third on the call sheet. Like she was the lead. And then on the other projects I did with this Jillian Clare woman, she was the director. So like it's always like the hierarchy, I'm the lower Jillian. So I get just like nicknamed, which I'm so cool with. But it is like there were incidents on every set where I've been with other Jillians where it's like, Jillian, come to set. Go, go, go. They're calling you, go. And I'm like, I didn't think they were talking to me. And they're like, go. And then I get there and they're like, why are you here? And I'm like, oh my God, everyone was telling me to come in. So
well,
it's a bit
this
of
is
a
a bad
thing.
idea, and feel free to tell me, no, I won't do that. But maybe in the future, a separate production company of yours could be called Lower Jillian Productions.
Yeah, that's actually genius. Like I'm lower on the hierarchy.
But over to the musical end, when did your singing start versus your acting?
Singing was way before acting. I've been singing. My parents like to say, like, since the moment I came out. Like,
Mhm.
they say I was singing the second I could talk. So that was kind of always my thing growing up, was like music. Acting was never even a possibility. And then around like 10, music brought me into musical theater. And then everyone was like, oh, she seems to really like this. So I started doing like professional musical theater.
Mhm.
So I did like Les Miserables and like this panto that was super fun. And then eventually my mom had a friend who reached out and was like, there's some like singing competition in Los Angeles. Like you should bring Jillian. And I was like, sure, sounds fun. And my mom was like, yeah, why not? Like a week in LA sounds like a fun vacation. Sure, let's go. So we went to that. And then in a seminar, I met my current manager. And she was like, you should come out to LA and audition for TV shows. And I was like, okay. And my mom was like, it's up to you, like totally up to you. And I was like, guys, I'm 11. I don't know how to make this decision. But I ended up going. And
Yeah.
then 3 months later, I booked Walk the Prank, which was the Disney show I was on. So then I never left.
Well, I see a guitar in the background. Now, I
Yes.
don't have a huge screen. It looks like a Gretsch. Is that a Gretsch or a
Yes.
Gretsch style?
She's new. I got her 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Okay. Now, you don't, for people who don't play guitar who are going to hear this, see this, etc., you don't buy a Gretsch as a first guitar. That is,
No.
that's like a sports car kind of guitar right there.
There's like 10 more over there. They're just not visible.
Are you endorsed by Gretsch or you're just secretly a very good guitar player?
Oh my God, I'm not very good at guitar at all. I'm fine. Like I think I'm like probably like decent. I'm a Taylor girl. So I'm kind of like with them.
Taylor
But for
guitars, correct? Not Taylor Swift. Taylor
yes,
guitars.
yeah. Taylor guitars. And then yeah, I got this bad boy because I was like, oh my God, she's so pretty. Like I need
And,
her.
and and heavy. To rudely interrupt you, that is a heavy guitar. You know,
Yeah,
Gibson Les Pauls are heavy, but Gretches are even heavier, I find.
yeah.
So does
She's,
that mean you then have a strap endorsement too to make sure
you
that
know,
that
that would be nice. So hit me up, strap companies. Like,
wow, so I didn't know that you have the Taylor endorsement and all that. So I believe there's two singles that you have coming out around March and then an EP in May, is that correct? And
yeah,
now
so
it's
my EP comes out on Friday.
okay, so tell
Two
me
days.
about that. Where and when and how did the CP happen?
So my boyfriend, his name is Jack Ray, and he is like the most talented musician on the face of the earth, who also happens to be a brilliant producer. So the two of us wrote the whole thing together on acoustic guitar, and then he produced it all. And it's pretty cool. It's been like a long time coming because it was kind of like a side project for
Mhm.
like the last year and a half, maybe. And then it's finally happening. It's finally done, coming out.
Touring plans in support of that?
Oh, that would be cool. I would love to. Yeah, that would be so fun. There's nothing on the table yet, but that would be great.
Now, some people don't love the live performance aspect, but you,
Mm.
as somebody who's done musical theater, I would have to imagine, just tell me if I'm wrong here, that your favorite thing is to perform live.
Yeah, I love performing. Like, I haven't done anything big ever, like with music performance. We just did like a couple small shows and I love it. Like I think it's the most fun thing ever. And
Mhm.
I've never done big shows. So we'll see how that goes. If that happens, maybe I'll hate it, but I can't imagine I would.
Well, if you performed live, do you know what the set list would look like? And I say this as a compliment here because you have
Yeah.
to imagine a percentage of the people are coming because they love your film and television work
Mm.
and personality on social media and your work when it comes to philanthropy. But then there's other people who just love the music. So sometimes when you see a notable actor perform live, they go, okay, we'll do one or two singles and covers, and then we'll get out of here.
Mm. Yeah, I've never actually thought about that. I was on the soundtrack for Godmother, so I'd probably have to like put some of that in there. I don't know if that's even legal.
Oh, it's totally legal. I can tell you as a music industry person, you can play anything you want live. If it's streamed online, there's a little bit of paperwork, but
Yeah,
you could perform only famous songs if you wanted to.
you don't have to pay anything.
You don't have to pay for it if the venue is under ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC. They have to take care of that kind of reporting stuff. If you
Oh,
were
wow.
making it as a live album, as long as you paid the standard royalties, I know this is nerdy stuff,
No,
but
I love it. I'm actually like feeling very educated at the moment.
yeah, you could go. I'm only going to play Guns N' Roses, Eagles, Taylor Swift. It's totally fine. You can play anything you want live.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so does that mean you're going to be playing Hotel California, Sweet Child of Mine, Taylor Swift? Okay, no.
That's a pretty good set list, actually. That was kind of
Well,
great.
yeah, so you would have to play something from Godmother. You'd have to play at least one or two things from this EP.
Yeah,
Would you play a thing or two from your musical theater background?
definitely not. The little shows we did, we just like ran through the whole EP because it's 6 songs. So it was kind of like perfect length to just do it all.
That makes sense. And the other thing that I just called out, social media, you got a lot of followers on there. Is there a lot of pressure for you to kind of keep up with new content on there, or is that something you enjoy?
That's a tricky one. I think it's a mix of both. Like, I think I go through phases where I actually really enjoy social media and find it fun and find making content fun. Like,
Mhm.
that's like a good part of my day and I enjoy it. And then I go through phases, like I'm going through this phase right now where it's like draining and like going on it is like ruining my mental health. And I like don't want to be on social media. I don't want to post on social media, but I'm simultaneously going through like release week. So it's when I should be posting the most and I'm not posting. So I guess there is that kind of like pressure, but I don't think it's put on but by anyone else. I think it's put on by myself. So,
You're just too used to being good at what you do. No, no, I'm kidding.
oh,
Uh,
that's a funny way to word it. Thank you.
well, if the other people share the interviews that you're doing, then you yourself don't have to post. So
True.
if we can get the message that everyone shares all of your interviews around the noise, then less work for you to do, then the mental health stays good and everyone wins.
Yeah, there you go. It's perfect.
Okay, well, two quick questions and then I let you go. The first one is
Oh, you're fine. I like
beside,
being here. I don't mind interviews. I just don't like posting TikToks.
I mean, you could go the opposite way and post the most boring TikToks ever and see what happens as an experiment.
You know, that would probably work because when you
Just
put effort into it, it seems like it doesn't work.
just you waiting for the bus, and then the background music is a song from your EP.
Genius. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. I
See how
love
the
that.
metrics are, and you'll decide if that's your new direction. The most boring TikTok account on earth.
So boring.
They keep coming back.
I'll actually try it. I'll try it for you. I'll keep you updated.
I'm looking forward to that one.
I'll do it. I'm
I'm
not
still
even kidding. I'm going to do it today for you.
tag me, then I'll reshare it. Then you have even less pressure to
You
put
can
on.
put it in the show notes. It's great.
Jillian, you're the best. Well, seriously, two quick questions because I don't like when they say, "Hey, you got 45 minutes with that person." I go, "No, leave them wanting more. Don't overstay your welcome here. Keep it short."
Real.
And the first one is, besides the noise, do you have a TV or film recommendation that you could pass along? Because every time the wife and I watch a show, we kill it in 3 days and we go, what's next? And obviously, The Noise is a short film. That's not going to take days to watch.
Did you go see Fall Guy in theaters?
Oh, with Ryan Gosling, it's good.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Really good. Like really, really good. We saw it last week and we were like, wow, this is the best movie we've seen in a long time. Like it had everything. Like it had the action, it had the romance, it had the comedy, it had the drama. Like everything was in there. So
So
good.
the wife and I were in Chile a week and a half ago, and we saw all the movie posters up for Fall Guy. And I think the alternate title in Chile was Tough Job. I love the alternate titles. Tough Job.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I guess it
Wow.
means more in other countries that, oh yeah, he's got a tough job.
He's got a really tough job. Does. They do.
And the last question before I let you go, um, how does somebody like you decompress? Because you're a performer on a few different levels, creative on a few different levels, and you work a lot. And usually, people who work a lot either decompress by working even more, or they have a surprising hobby like golf. Which one are you?
Oh, see, I'm working on this actually because I am normally the person to decompress by just working more, and I'm trying to get better at like taking breaks because it's weird in this industry where it's like there's no Monday through Friday 9 to 5. Like you could just work
Mhm.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and still not make enough money to pay your rent. So it's kind of like one of those things where you're like, I need to just keep working. So I'm trying to work on like chilling out. And for me, that's like reading and like laying around, honestly. I'm not a big TV watcher, which I know is horrible. But I always just find myself like picking up a book instead, which is so bad. I need to start watching more TV, but
No,
alas.
no,
I'm
you're
an
doing the exact.
actor, like I need to.
Reading is actually a good thing because you learn from it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, well, here's what I've learned. You got a lot of great things coming up. We
Thank
may eventually see you on tour. The Noise is not the last thing that you'll be working on anytime soon. You're learning to relax. There's
you.
great music coming from you and Jack, etc. So I'm really appreciative of your time and really looking forward to what's to come, even if it's just you waiting for the bus on TikTok.
That's what's coming today. Yeah. So that is the next thing to come.
Paltrocast.